Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Drux Malan Unboxing. I'm, of course, Drux Malan, South African correspondent for Ring Magazine. You can follow me at Drux Unboxing on Twitter. And also, please give this channel a like and a subscribe. And I also have a blog, www.couchpotatofightguru.blogspot.com, that you can go and check out. Today we are talking about a classical confrontation that we're going to have on Saturday night in Las Vegas between a young upcoming star in his prime and an old legend that is trying to hang on to his glory. I'm talking, of course, a fight between Keith one-time Thurman and Manny Pacquiao. Now, Thurman is a guy who steadily climbed the ranks, starting with beating the usual array of ex-world champions like Jan Zawek, Carlos Quintana in impressive fashion, the odd gatekeeper like Jesus Soto Caras, and some pretty good fighters like Roberto Guerrero. In the process, he became the WBA interim champion by beating Diego Chavez. I think that was back in 2013. And as Floyd Mayweather retired eventually, he became the full-status WBA world champion. He'll be defending that title on Saturday night. Now, his highlights of his achievements, he won a close points decision over former IBF champion and the current WBC champion Shawn Porter. And he also beat another undefeated fighter, Danny Garcia, in 2017 to add the WBC title to his collection at that time. So he's undefeated, he's in his athletic prime. He's a guy that I was always quite high on. He was much must-watch TV for me. He's athletic, he's quick, he's a kind of boxer that likes to move a lot. He alternates the direction of his movement quite well. And he does have a decent punch as well, you know. He likes to throw power punches and then get out of the way. He likes to box on the fly. Now, for a 41-year-old fighter like Manny Pacquiao, a guy like Keith Thurman, it's not really the kind of style that you want. You don't want a guy that's fleet-footed around the ring because those older legs have to keep up. But a lot of people are picking Manny Pacquiao to turn back the clock and win this fight. And why is that? There are two reasons for it. For one is Thurman. Now, Thurman, some people have changed his nickname of one time to sometime because he was inactive after 2017 for almost 2 years and only came back in January this year with a decision over Josecito Lopez. Now, that was because of hand trouble and elbow surgery. And in his last fight, when he came back after all that inactivity, he didn't look that great. In the 7th round, Lopez hurt him actually, and he was tottering on the verge of a stoppage before he pulled himself together to win the fight. Now, that is one reason why people are giving Pacquiao a chance, because Pacquiao can hit. And the other reason is Manny Pacquiao has looked good in his last two fights. 2017, he lost a somewhat controversial decision to Jeff Horn in Australia. A lot of people thought it's time for him to pack it in. Then he came back and he looked very good, stopping Lucas Matissa, the Argentinian power puncher, in 7 rounds. And then in his last fight, he won as he pleased against a man everybody loves to hate, Adrian Broner. Now, so a lot of people thinking that he's going to go in there, he's going to hurt Thurman and he's going to stop him. That's certainly a possibility. Thurman can be hurt. I remember Lascano hurting him with a body punch. Even Soto Caras buzzed him a bit. So he can be hurt, but he's always come back from that. He's managed to pull it together and get through those sticky spots. And that experience, I think, is going to serve him well on Saturday night. Pacquiao, we know how he fights. He rushes in from his awkward angles, from his southpaw stance. I don't think he's going to be too aggressive, because the last time he was very aggressive when he tried to knock somebody out was his 4th battle against Juan Manuel Marquez. And he got caught with a beautiful right-hand counter punch that put him to sleep. He does that against Thurman, the same thing could happen. So I don't expect Manny to go balls to the wall. And I also think that those two fights against Matissa and Broner flattered him maybe a little bit, because Matissa had very little left. He tried hard, he moved this way and that way, but it was nothing special. And eventually he just succumbed to Pacquiao's punches and went down and stayed down. He wasn't knocked cold out. And Broner, we know by now, he's a good fighter, and he's tough and he's strong, but he's just not elite. None of them are fast on their feet like Thurman is going to be. He's going to show Pacquiao a lot of movement. Now, for Thurman to win this fight, He simply needs to do what he does, but he needs to do more of it. He is not a volume puncher. He's making all kinds of bold predictions that he's going to knock Pacquiao out in the first round. I'll be shocked if that happens. So he's got I think he wants Pacquiao to be more aggressive than usual so he can counter punch him. That'll play into his hands. But he's going to box and he's going to move. And I think that's what he needs to do. He mustn't change it and suddenly start slugging it out with Pacquiao. Use those younger legs, use his superior speed to get the better of Pacquiao. Now Pacquiao, so one thing that Thurman doesn't like, those are the body punches. So for Pacquiao from that southpaw stance, Thurman tends to get hit here on his right hand side with left hooks or in the body as well. So for Pacquiao, who's a southpaw, but straight left that he's got, you just throw that to the body. I think you'll find home for that. And then sometimes he has a sort of a left hook hybrid uppercut that he throws to good effect. Worked well against Matissa. You must try that as well. So he must put controlled aggression on Thurman and work that body. And when he hurts him, he must try and finish him without getting knocked out himself. That is a tough thing. Now, people seem to be split down the middle of this fight. What do I think? I think Pacquiao is very, very live. If I was a gambling man, I'd take a chance maybe on him. I'm not sure what the odds are. I think it's quite close. There is a possibility that Pacquiao can turn back the clock. There is this possibility. The biggest question mark over Thurman is that long layoff and how healthy is he after the elbow surgery. Now, I think the fight against Josecito Lopez, even though he looked so vulnerable, was the right kind of thing for him. That was what the doctor ordered to shake off the ring rust. I expect Keith Thurman to be on form. So I'm going to go for Thurman to come through some sticky spots. I think Pacquiao will hurt him, but I don't think Pacquiao's got the kind of volume, that swarming punches that he used to have in his prime. He's got less of it. I think he's just won't have enough to get Thurman out of there, and then Thurman will establish the range again and box him. He's a taller man after all with the reach advantage. So I think Pacquiao's going to have his moments. I think Thurman will be hurt once or twice in the fight. But I think he will bank the close rounds simply by moving and frustrating Pacquiao and pot-shotting on the fly. So I'm going for Thurman to win perhaps an unpopular close decision, maybe a majority or split decision, and retain his title against Manny Pacquiao and go on to bigger things against Errol Spence and the likes of Terence Crawford eventually. So I'm going to go with Keith Thurman by a close decision. I'll be rooting for Pacquiao. Who doesn't like Manny Pacquiao? I'd love it if he upsets the odds once again. His legacy is secure anyway. He's going to the Hall of Fame. But beating a young guy like Keith Thurman at this stage of his career will be another add-on to already great legacy. But let's see. So enjoy the fight on Saturday night. I think it's going to be a good one. Lots of intrigue in that fight. And until we see each other again, please keep those hands up.